There's so much information available on the internet that sometimes it can be hard for people to interpret everything that they get. I'm a firm believer in spending all the time that's necessary in order for patients and their families to fully understand what's going on to make a good decision.
Hi, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Friday, October the 20th. Well, late last night, the U.S. Senate adopted a budget resolution. Unless you count Rand Paul, it was pretty much a partisan vote in favor of a budget, 51-49 or 51-48, I guess. What this was a procedural vote to set things up later for quick passage and avoid a filibuster on the Republican plan to cut taxes. So far, that plan is hazy and secretive. It'll be adopted as quickly, they hope, as the budget was adopted last night. There are some key things to know. The budget outline will likely produce, the Washington Post says, a $1.5 trillion deficit increase over the next 10 years. There was a time when Republicans thought the national deficit was the biggest problem facing the country today. No longer, apparently. Also, even though the deficit will increase, they're talking about a budget that cuts Medicare and Medicaid by $1.5 trillion. The poor people will suffer, but not the rich. The tax cuts, it is very clear, will go heavily to the rich. We're told, however, the rich will get these tax cut benefits, but they're going to pass it along and pay increases to their workers. Well, we'll see how that goes. There's been a terrible spectacle this week in Washington, argument over proper treatment of families who've lost children in war. And I don't think you need to pick sides on this to say we've devolved into something terrible. Donald Trump really began this thing when he attacked a Gold Star family during the Republican National Convention. When he was asked about deaths in Niger, he tried to turn attention to Barack Obama. He apparently made unhappy a family of a dead soldier who was killed in Niger. Perhaps he tried to do his best and just was inartful. He's not a particularly empathetic person. He sent out John Kelly, who lost his own son in war, to defend the president yesterday. But Kelly tried to say you shouldn't make politics out of this. He made politics out of it. And he attacked the family, he attacked the congresswoman, and he also misstated the facts, lied, if you will, about what the congressman in Florida had done. I think what's being lost in this is a very central question, and what's going on in Niger? Why do we have military troops there? Why are they at risk? Why are they dying? What happened in that incident? That's what we don't know, while our attention is turned to this political dispute, which is pretty unseemly. Back home in Arkansas, the unemployment rate in September held steady at 3.5%, and the workforce increased by some 1,500 people. We're at very near full employment. Monday, you might want to drop by the law school in Little Rock, the Bowen Law School, in the Friday courtroom. The Arkansas Coalition to Abolish the Death Penalty is going to have a panel discussion about the mentally ill and the death penalty. This is because November 9th, the state is set to kill Jack Green, who his lawyers say is not mentally competent to be executed. The state thinks he is, and it raises questions about mental competence and executions that are worth discussing, no matter where you stand on the issue. Another homicide in Little Rock, death yesterday of somebody who was shot Wednesday night at the Big Country Chateau Apartments on Colonel Glenn, a place that police go to frequently. And a little fallout from yesterday's big publicity stunt. The city of Little Rock, no, it's not going after Amazon. Of course it's not. It never could. It doesn't meet the criteria. They tried to make some lemonade out of that lemon by beginning a Love Little Rock campaign. Well, it's being put on by the Chamber of Commerce. As the city's money, they pay $300,000 a year to the chamber to do this. Is it paying for this campaign? Matt Campbell, the lawyer and Blue Hog Report blogger, has filed an FOI request with the chamber and Mayor Stoller to find out who paid for what, and is this part of the chamber's work for the city? There's a big question here that goes beyond publicity stunts, and that is how accountable the Chamber of Commerce is. It gets taxpayer money every year. It pays executives' pay at the chamber. They lobby for things that a lot of people in Little Rock don't like, whether it's bad workers' comp and unemployment insurance benefits and a whole host of other things. Chamber's free to lobby for these things, of course. It'd be better if their members paid for it, not city taxpayers. Matt Campbell hopes he'll find out. Attorney General Leslie Rutledge is busy again in another state. She's intervened trying to prevent a 17-year-old immigrant in Texas from getting an abortion. This is the Trump administration effort to prevent this teenager from having an abortion, not really because of any legitimate legal theory. They just don't want to have people have abortions. And Leslie Rutledge is right up there trying to take away medical rights from a teenage girl. They had arguments before a D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals on this case today. We may know later today what the outcome is, if she'll be able to have rights other citizens here have. Just because she's here as an immigrant, is she not entitled to that? That's the central question here. Well, let me give one wardrobe note. Thanks to Sushi Cafe for the hibachi beef on my shirt today. I'm Max Brantley. I'm resisting. I'll be back Monday.